like to call the Blackstone Millville Regional School Committee to order on Monday, July 13th, 2015. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'd like to take a moment of silence for two sudden losses in the school district. Tracy Duchamp's father, Paul Nimzik, and Paul Hahi's mother-in-law, Ethel Moreau. Thank you. So I'd like to start off with introductions of members. Sarah Larkin, Millville.
Steve Tringali, Millville.
Georgette Jarrett, Blackstone.
Bill Chaplin, Blackstone.
Wendy Greenstein, Blackstone.
Alan Himmelberger, Superintendent.
Dave Thompson, Assistant Superintendent.
Looking for a motion to approve consent agenda A. We have no field trips, no use of facilities, so we need to approve the warrants and the minutes of the meeting for June 24th, 2015. Do I have a motion?
So moved, as long as the minutes are changed, that with modification.
Okay. Motion made by Bill. Is there a second?
A second?
Second by Georgette. Discussion? All those in favor of approving the consent agenda A, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Report of the superintendent.
Thank you very much, Madam Chair. A couple of quick things here, but the BICO Collaborative Board of Directors needs to be appointed every year. Typically, that responsibility goes to the superintendent to attend all of the board meetings. So the committee would have to reappoint. They can reappoint anyone, but again, typically it's the superintendent, and there's a motion if you would so choose.
So we're looking to make a motion to reappoint the superintendent to the BICO board for the 2015-2016 school year. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Moved by Steve. Do I have a second?
Come on, Bill.
Second by Tara. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
As they say, it's a job, and someone's got to do it. Next on the list is the ratification of the educator evaluation MOA. Many of the committee worked hard over the last couple of years to get this MOA worked on, and the Unit A did ratify the agreement at the end of June. This is exactly as we had negotiated. The language is very, very comprehensive, and this would go in and replace Article 11 in the current contract, which expires next June of 2016. And so I would look for ratification from the committee on this MOA.
So do you need a motion before we discuss, or
Motion to approve for discussion.
our motion to approve and discussion?
Okay, motion made by Bill. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Steve. Discussion?
So this was exactly what we talked about last year.
Yes, this was what we had, I think Bill was on that, Steve, I believe Jane and Erin. And this was worked on January, February, and March, and then it took a while for the final draft to get through, but this is as we had approved during those negotiations.
So it'll go into the existing contract now, which we're going to negotiate anyways.
Yes.
In the fall. Okay.
Yeah,
But I
see.
believe this is till 2016, so this
Right.
is till the summer. So we'll be wrapping up negotiations. Is that correct with you today?
Well, the
Existing contract
existing
goes till the
contract
16th.
Oh, it
expires
does,
in
okay,
summer of
okay.
2016.
We'll start negotiating.
Okay.
We would start negotiating for a successor agreement sometime in the next school year. But this would basically replace Article 11 around teacher evaluation.
Any more discussion? Okay, all those in favor of ratifying the Educator Evaluation Memorandum of Agreement, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
Was there a nay?
Yep. John.
The ayes have it.
Okay, moving on. You got delivered the audit report for FY14, which was from R.E. Brown and Company. And this is for your edification. The auditor will be here at the next meeting on August 13th to explain the report and go over the findings. So that is FY14's around the A133 single audit, as well as the basic financial statements covering the 13-14 school year, FY14.
So he's coming when?
He'll be here on the August
In
13th
August.
meeting,
All right.
the auditor, to go through it.
I'm not gonna go,
answer
yeah, because I
questions.
read this and I get my eyes glazed over after about 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Well, there's no action required tonight, it's
Yeah.
just discussion,
Just-
so.
Just for information. And, but the auditors will be here on the next meeting. Okay. And then next is the standard motions to close out FY15. As you can see, this is very standard, it's almost identical to what we did last year at this meeting. And there's 4 motions here. The first one is to take these amounts, which were used as offsets in the FY15 budget, to, per preliminary results, transfer them to the following accounts, to E&D. The second motion is to close out these interest funds, which is required by the DOR. The third motion is to apply an estimated receipt of $60,000 towards FY16. And then the final motion is to use E&D funds in the amount of $400,000 to offset FY16 budget.
So do we want to go around with the motions?
Well, can I ask a question?
Sure.
Is there any critical reason why they have to be approved, moved, and approved today?
Yes, as I understand the statute, we have until July 15th to close out the general fund books, which is why this meeting needs to happen to be able to do that.
I understand that. Why do we wait till the 13th to approve something that needs to be done by the 15th?
In years past, I believe it has happened on the 15th.
There's a lot of things that have been happening in years past that don't seem to be happening now, so I'm just curious of why we waited till the 13th to move on something that has to be approved by the 15th. Because I
Typically-
kind of looked at them, and
Yeah.
I've got, just some questions myself, and now I'm being put in a position where, by law, we have to approve these, and we've got less than 2 days.
These were worked on by the financial team with our consultant, and really just went to press, John, last Friday.
Yeah.
So,
No,
it's, I think, a function of the fact that we just don't have enough time to get this all done with enough time to analyze. And that's the reason why there's a crunch. The law says we have to have it closed out by the July 15th.
And I just want to educate myself as to how this process works, because I'm looking at a lot of this financial information now, and quite frankly, I don't want to just vote yes because that's what we've done in years past, because, we seem to do that in some instances and not in others. Especially with respect to what we're going to be voting on with those 4 motions, it's pretty significant. When did the financial team first get the information that they were analyzing prior to it coming
Last week.
last week?
Last week. And we're fortunate that we have the same consultant who has worked with our auditors over many, many years, and along with our business office manager. So these numbers do come together quickly after the final warrants are put together, and that's typically for this meeting.
It's only the third motion. 1, 2, and 4 don't require a vote before the July 15th deadline. It's just the third motion, if I'm right. Is that right? No?
That's
Yes?
not the way I have
What-
understood it.
How do you understand it? I'm just curious.
That you have to close out the books by July 15th, and these are the standard motions approved by our consultant, along with our business manager,
Because I didn't
to
understand,
do that.
you understand, I apologize for belaboring this point, but we're moving money from one fiscal year to another in at least two of those motions, right? As I understand them. If
Well,
I'm
what
not
you-
right, just tell me.
Yep, no, what you're doing, John, on the first motion
Yep.
is, this is monies that was set aside last year to offset. So that is flowing into E&D for current closeout. The second motion is just a DOR housekeeping issue that we have to do. The third motion is to apply these estimated receipts towards FY16, and the final is to take the vote to use that much in E&D to offset. It's really
It's the
three
offset.
fiscal
It's-
years that are coming together.
It's the offset motion I have a particular issue with, because it's the $400,000 that we're moving over to offset the shortfall. That I
Right.
don't think is required by approval for DOR by the 15th.
No, not
That's
by
the one.
DOR, but certainly this this gives the committee the authority to put this money towards FY16. We will then use this money to offset the total expenditure. And this was something that was planned since the beginning of the budget cycle.
Well, the beginning of the budget cycle, just so we understand where that starts. The beginning of the budget cycle actually starts now for next fiscal,
Right. For
right?
For
So
the
you,
current budget cycle to
So-
prepare FY16's budget.
that 400,000, my question is, if we're using it to offset it so that we have the flexibility to build in the fiscal budget for the upcoming year, is that right?
For FY16,
Okay.
yes.
So my question is, on the fourth motion, because the other ones are relatively short money anyway, but the $400,000 to be moved from E&D funds, right? That's what we've done in the past years to bridge the shortfalls, isn't that right?
Exactly,
Okay.
exactly.
And my question is that there was a statement made that these need to be done to close out the fiscal year for last year, but the fourth one doesn't necessarily have to be done by July 15th. We could hold off on that one till next month, couldn't we?
No, we
Without
can't.
being offensive to.
No. Because this monies is already earmarked as part of our operating budget for FY16. So if we don't vote it this evening, then we don't have a balanced budget.
Well, that's my point, because the reason in order to, I guess it's looking at it from this perspective. We made certain requests on two municipalities that are part of this regional school district.
Yep.
They gave us an amount of money. It didn't include the $400,000, nor did the budget that we provided them in order to make that determination as to what they were going to provide us include that $400,000 as an offset at that time.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, it did.
Yes, it did, sir.
It included $400,000.
Yes.
This is a technicality. We've already voted on this probably 3 times already. The E&D.
Why did we vote
the
on it
last
3
motion.
times, Bill?
During every discussion that we had when we were finalizing the numbers, this was the number that we talked about to offset, come up with that shortfall.
Okay, but we don't need to vote on it now then.
Well, we can. We're gonna vote
Have
on
to
it.
be-
You don't have to
Or else
vote on it.
you don't have a balanced budget to go forward.
Well, no,
FY16.
what Bill said is, he's saying that we've already voted on it, it's already assumed it's already part of the money, so it's already money we've been working with, so we don't necessarily, we've already voted on it 3 times. So if we're voting on it, we've already voted on it and approved it to be utilized 3 times, we're voting on it again the 4th time as, for what?
So that we have a record of this meeting, that our FY16 budget is official and balanced. And that's the simplest way I could put it.
Well, it wasn't voted on 3 times. It was brought up.
Discussed it,
We
and
voted on the budget,
we
and
anticipated
each time
that.
we knew 400,000 was coming from E&D.
Well, every
we
time we
voted on the whole
certified the
budget.
budget was a
Yeah.
vote. And
Yeah.
every time that budget was certified, that $400,000 was in
Exactly
there.
Exactly
Correct.
right. So that's not a change from anything we've been doing from quite a while.
No.
But this is the vote to actually move the money.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's housekeeping based upon the discussion of the last 5 or 6 months. but it has to be done in order for the budget to balance.
Any other discussion?
I don't think, I'm sorry, you know what, Wendy, I apologize. I don't think we've even made a motion yet.
We haven't.
It was mentioned.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
I'll make the motion.
Okay.
To vote per preliminary results to transfer the following revolving fund accounts to the E&D account. Medicaid, $60,000, music user fees, $16,250, athletic user fees, $400,750, rental of classroom, $35,000.
Motion made by Bill. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Steve. Discussion? All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? The ayes have it. Second motion?
I'll make a motion to vote to close the following funds as required by the Department of Revenue to the general fund, which is E&D. Interest Fund 12, $40.53. Is that right? Wow.
Yep.
Small numbers. Interest Fund 13, $14.45. Interest Fund 15, $891.80. Interest Fund 16, $916.75. Interest Fund 17, $508.75. And Fund 25, miscellaneous revolving, $14,165.
Motion made by Steve. Is there a second?
Second?
Second made by John. Is that you?
Yeah.
Okay. Second made by John. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Yeah, it is.
Sorry. I didn't hear you.
Sorry.
The ayes have it.
I'll make a motion to apply estimated receipts from the following certain special revenue funds for FY16 budget. Medicaid, $60,000.
Motion made by Bill. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Tara. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it. Last motion.
I'll make a motion to vote, you want to go ahead, Georgette.
I make a motion to vote to use E&D funds in the amount of $400,000 to offset the FY16 budget.
Motion made by Georgette. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Steve. Discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
Okay.
Nay, John. The ayes have it.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Next, you'll have the school nutrition and equipment report. This is very comprehensive. It's now required by the state, and our director, Mrs. Sheridan, has listed all of the equipment. They would like the estimated value and then a replacement cost. And this is, again, for our information, but it is just simply submitted to the state as a new record reporting requirement.
Is there an action? That's for information only?
That's for information only, exactly. Next, you'll see that you have a list of surplus equipment. This is, I believe, primarily, if not all, from the high school in terms of books, as well as some equipment that is beyond its useful life, complete with pictures. And this is all equipment that is no longer of use to us. And this list for the high school is what they have for surplus. Both the high school and the complex have the largest majority of stuff that has been allowed to accumulate. And the committee did already approve a surplus list from the complex. There will be some additional amounts as well. Obviously, because of the newness of the buildings, not as much to declare at Millville Elementary or at the middle school. But this is the high school's list.
Where does it go?
Once the committee approves it, then the towns are notified to see if there's any interest in any of the items. And then if there's no interest, then it is disposed of. The textbooks are recycled. A lot of the metal, the market's pretty low on right now, so if we can get someone to take it away, that's a huge thing.
Have you contacted the Blackstone Recycling Center?
I have not.
I think that might be beneficial to at least one of the communities.
Yep.
I would suggest that you call Bill Walsh and see if there's because he could take the metal and hold it till the market rebounds in the storage yard.
Yep. Okay, good idea. Thank you.
I mean, can we send it to Haiti or something? I mean, can someone else use this stuff?
Well, why wouldn't we want to try to make money for one of the towns that has to make a
Not just the
capital contribution to the
recycling.
school?
You're talking about textbooks
We're talking
and
about
things of that
textbooks
nature, right?
and
Yeah, but there,
those
I've
overhead
looked into that in
projectors.
the
Some of the
past, and the
equipment
shipping
uniforms.
cost
Well,
is
the metal
like
and-
way
and
more
even
than the
paper.
value.
Yeah.
It's just,
So,
Good idea.
it's a good thought, but it's, I did the math on it one time, and it's like, you end up paying to give it away. It's-
Looking for a motion to approve the surplus list. Do I have a motion?
Yes, you do. So moved.
Moved by Steve. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Georgette. Discussion? You were in discussion before. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it.
It's 30,
you very much,
30,
and
30
I'll-
baseball jackets there.
And I will connect with,
hockey, too.
with Bill Welsh and follow up with the recycling center.
Yeah, I don't understand why we're thinking about donating it when we have somebody who can actually make money from it.
You know, I think it's just simply the disposition of it, and then if we can find folks that want to take it for money, absolutely.
Yep.
The last item I have is the rubbish bid collection. We sent out bids for collection of the rubbish for the upcoming year. This past year, we had Allied, whose cost was $13,320. We had one bidder return. This year was Casella, and the bid was $13,857.20. And I would recommend to the committee to vote to approve this vendor to collect our trash.
Do we have a motion?
I'll move to accept the quote from Casella Waste Services of Auburn, Mass. for rubbish collection services for 2015-2016 school year.
Motion made by Bill. Do we have a second?
Second?
Second made by Steve. Do we have any discussion?
There were two attachments.
Just out of curiosity, do we have a recycling agreement with anybody at this point? Who picks up our recyclables?
I believe that is done through the town.
Through Blackstone?
Yes. Yes.
Do you know that for a fact, or is?
No, I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Yeah. But I'm going to include that, John, in my conversation with Bill,
Yeah,
just
because,
so I get educated on it.
yeah, it just makes sense, because I know he actually, makes financial returns
Right,
back, so.
right.
All those in favor of approving the rubbish bid, say aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it.
And that's all I have for your report. Thank you.
Thank you. Report of the superintendent, assistant superintendent?
Yes, first, if you remember last meeting, I did hand out an information sheet on Envision Math, and I would appreciate if the school committee would approve and adopt the Envision's elementary math curriculum.
I move to approve it.
I'm sorry, what? Oh, you want to adopt it?
Yeah.
Motion made by John. Do I have a second to adopt the math program?
Second it.
Second made by Georgette. All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Opposed? The ayes have it.
Okay, thank you. The other thing, just to let you know that the last full week of August, before we come back, is going to be a great opportunity for professional development in the district. The 24th, we are doing training and co-teaching. We've identified teachers who will be piloting that program next year. There is about 24 individuals who will be here on Monday, the 24th. 25th is a third day of Google Leader training. The people who signed up for that and volunteered for that asked for a third day of training. We have that happening on Tuesday, the 25th. And Wednesday and Thursday, the 26th and 27th of August, is our new teacher orientation, which is going to be a little longer and more comprehensive than it has been in the past. A lot of good feedback from people over the last couple of years as to what was missing, and we've developed a more comprehensive program for our new teachers entering the district. So that is all.
Okay. Committee forum?
Oh, yeah. I have a question. Transportation, did we ever make a decision on buses and?
We have to meet as soon as Mrs. Vinaco gets back.
Okay.
And Mr. Ducharme, we will make that decision.
So our hope is by August we'll make
August
that
13th, yes.
an action.
Yep.
Okay. Very good. Committee forum.
I'm good.
Pass.
Anything, John?
No.
Nothing for me. Sorry.
Nope.
All right.
Okay, so we need a roll call. We will be going into executive session, not to come out for adjournment. So I need a roll call.
Need the reason.
Oh, for discussion of union and non-union personnel.
Yes?
Yes.
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 Yes. Okay. Our next meeting is Thursday, August 13th at 2015.